Hello guys, Merry Christmas again. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already, go ahead and check out. I've produced 2 videos already today. I have a brand new series I'm doing. It's an astrological series. So I have the Aries video, the first sign of the zodiac, and we'll get into Taurus next. And for my Aries, this is for Aries Sun, Moon, Rising, North Node, South Node, as well as you can cross watch for your Divine Feminine, for your Divine Masculine. And it is a general reading with some love, some career advice mixed in there. So you can send it to a family member or a friend. They do not have to be a twin flame. I made that clear in the video, but this is a passion of mine. And I would love it if you guys could like, share, subscribe, comment to help me get the views up, because the last I saw there was only about 20 views on that video. So a lot lower than I normally have. And let me know. I'd love your feedback on this series as you watch either your masculine's sign or, of course, your sign. So let me know how that resonates. And then I have a video that I put up earlier today, a couple hours ago, this afternoon, actually, depending on where you are in the world. It would be Christmas Day. And it was a really powerful message that came through after I went through a very brief but extremely challenging dark night yesterday and the night before. So I came out of it and felt really inspired. I felt really clear-headed today, very inspired. So I wanted to give back to everyone who lifted me up yesterday and inspired me. So please go watch that video. I feel like it's almost an hour long. And it has a ton of incredible, inspiring, uplifting messages. And it's really a message from the Divine Masculine. It just ended up being that way. So as I went through the reading, that's just what was coming up. It's not like I intended it to be a Divine Masculine reading, but it came up that way. So a lot of messages for the Divine Masculines and from the Divine Masculines that I think you will really benefit from hearing for your inner DM as well as the external DM. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm using the Gilded Tarot to begin, a deck that I had put away and brought out again. So what we're going to do is ask Archangel Michael to create a sphere of loving protection around this reading, myself and anyone watching, and allow me to be a vessel, a pure vessel of unconditional love, of compassion, of empathy, of guidance, of clarity, of joy and power. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. So let's get some overarching messages here. Wow, 9 of Swords and 4 of Cups. Feeling as if... Well, okay, let's start with the 9 of Swords. So some heavy energies here. And I know how challenging the holidays can be. So that's why I wanted to do this video. I didn't even tell you what the video was about. My bad. This is a video where the counterparts are talking to each other again. So here we have the 9 of Swords. Sleepless nights, insomnia, nightmares. You may not be experiencing the nightmare aspect of that, but you may be experiencing insomnia like I have been. This is staying awake and your thoughts sort of carrying you away at all hours of the night, not like thinking back on what you could have said or should have said, could have done or would have done, and not being able to see clearly as a result. Really, there's a lot of self-deprecation and deprecation in this card. And I also feel a lot of confusion, a lot of doubt, a lot of fear as well coming up. It's a very, very extreme energy. It's kind of like the Hermit energy taken to an extreme. So if you're in this energy, guys, today, I send you so much love and power, clarity and strength. I know it's a challenging time and the holidays aren't always merry and jolly. And that's why I wanted to do this video, because even if you are in communication with your counterpart, it's likely you're not in union yet if you're watching this video. And it's likely also that they may be with family members or a karmic partner, and you may not be able to spend it with them. So that can be very painful. So a lot of you may go through these many dark nights of the soul, or may just feel just sad today. So I wanted to really honor that with this reading. So the overarching energies is both twins may be struggling right now with some fears, some doubts, some insecurities about this connection. Where is it going? How do we get there? So even if you're in communication, your twin may be saying, they may be saying to themselves, I don't see how we can get to where we want to be. I don't see how we could actually be together. So this is really allowing the mind to overpower the heart and to cloud one's judgment. So with the 4 of Cups energy, he's ignoring, okay, this man, this youth, is ignoring the 3 cups that are in front of him, and he's taken interest in this larger cup that's being offered to him by some hand in the sky. It's like as if by magic. So this is a person who maybe have lofty ideals of romance, because this is the cups energy, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. And it's this energy of, it's the feeling that I've missed out on opportunities because I was too busy looking over here. What I really feel for this, guys, is the masculine energy coming out pretty strongly, realizing that they had their focus on things that didn't really matter, like the pie in the sky kind of idea. And they missed the feminine, what the feminine was offering here. So the masculine was focused on money. The masculine was focused on goals, on 3D goals, reaching those goals, meeting those goals, exceeding those goals. And the feminine was over here just quietly, lovingly being patient and offering her cup or his cup and saying, I'm right here. I'm right in front of you. The masculine could not see clearly. And I feel like there's a lot of regrets, guys. There's a lot of regrets here because of that, not being able to see clearly when the feminine was right in front of him. And now the feminine has exited stage left for many, many twin flame situations. The feminine, whether you're in contact or not, you put your boundaries up and you said, you know what, or laid them down rather. And you may have some walls up, you know, protecting yourself. And you said, you know what, if you cannot see this incredible love that I'm offering you, this incredible offer of love that I'm trying to give you, if you cannot receive that or you cannot see it, then I need to walk. I need to give all of this love to myself. And the masculine was left over here staring at this cup, which is really empty inside. There's nothing of substance in that cup. All the substance is down here. So the masculine is in this arena right now, in this mindset of self-blame. Let's get a little more insight. So let's get a message from the masculine to the feminine. Masculine to the feminine, please. They do want to speak their truth, guys, because we have the Page of Swords, ooh, and the Queen of Swords. Okay, I see what is going on here. The masculine does want to speak their truth. A lot of swords energy, guys, air energy. Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Now, with the Page of Swords, I see an immature energy here. I see somebody who wants to speak, but they may speak before they're ready. And it's almost like, but then there's a fear of, what if I speak before I'm really ready? I could ruin it. They're afraid of coming forward because they're afraid of ruining it. So the masculine is saying here to the feminine, I want to speak. There's so much that I want to say. I want to deliver the truth. I want to explain my absence. I want to explain why I've been quiet. I want to explain why I haven't left the karmic yet. I want to explain why it's taken so long for me to finally leave the karmic. Okay, there's going to be different situations for different people. I want to explain why I have been so cold. I want to explain why I ghosted you and cut you off and acted like I didn't care. But there's an energy of not quite being ready to do that. So wanting to deliver the truth, but there's this energy also, guys, with the Queen of Swords. That is your energy. And I feel like that very much is the energy of how the masculine's perceiving the feminine. So the masculine's perceiving the feminine saying, you know what? I don't know if you're going to accept my apology. Okay? I don't know if you're going to accept my apology. I don't know if you're going to bite my head off. It's like there's a little bit of trepidation there because they don't know what to expect. This woman has a lot of confidence in this card, okay? And it's not that she's threatening, but she can be perceived that way, especially when someone is in this sort of excited but antsy kind of immature energy of a page. So if the masculine's in this page energy right now, the feminine's in this queen energy, and I feel like the masculine's saying, you know, I don't really know if I can compete with this, because perhaps they've tried in the past and the feminine has cut them off. It could be that your masculine has tried in the past to deliver truth or to have a conversation, And maybe if they didn't say exactly what you felt like you needed to hear, feminine, you may have cut them off. So it's like, I do feel this excitement, but I also feel there's uncertainty. They're not quite sure. I don't feel the liberation that you might feel from the Knight of Swords. He's not quite there. He's working his way up. He's gaining confidence to come forward to this very self-assured, very confident queen who knows exactly what she wants and how she wants it. He's got some nerves, feminine. There's some nervousness here for sure, but he's trying to act like he doesn't have the nerves. It's like he's trying to convince himself that he should just come forward, because there's also this fear that it's going to be too late. Am I too late is what I'm hearing. That's part of the insomnia. That's part of the nightmares. That's part of this energy of Nine of Swords is, am I too late because I took you for granted? And now I want to come forward and I want to explain all of this to you. And I want to explain what I was thinking and what I was going through and why I didn't make that commitment before and why I may have chosen another avenue. The feminine's over here going, she's just cool, calm, and collected. So I see the feminine sort of sitting on her throne or her perch, and the masculine having to approach her, and the masculine just maybe even approaching her and then walking away, and then trying to approach her again and then running away. And the feminine's just kind of getting a kick out of it because she's not going to bite his head off, contrary to what he believes. But that's the energy that he is choosing to see. But the feminine's like, I'm not projecting any of this. This is your projections. You know, I'm just sitting here. I'm just confident. I'm sitting here. I'm doing my thing. Right? I'm celebrating with my family or with myself or with my animals. And there's really nothing to fear, masculine, but he's creating this scenario in his head. So the masculine also has this energy of illusion, which came up in the earlier reading. Very interesting. Or did it come up? Maybe it came up in the Aries reading. I think it came up in the Aries reading. Maybe both. But it definitely came up in the Aries reading. So we have this Cancerian energy. Okay. And so shout out to all my Cancers out there. And we have Scorpio. We have the Death card. So major arcana energy also showing up in the masculine's energy. So the masculine is saying to the feminine, I know that I'm in some distortion still, and I'm still going through some ego deaths, you know, so please be gentle with me. Please understand that if I do come forward, I may not be able to give you everything that you want or desire. So please just be understanding, compassionate, and empathetic, because I'm still sort of getting my sea legs, if you will. I'm still learning how to navigate the waters of this connection, the depth of this connection, the sincerity of your love, the sincerity, the dedication, the loyalty that you've shown me. I'm not sure that I can show that back to you yet. So he may come in still in a little bit of distortion, guys. So be mindful of that. And the masculine also wants to convey that I'm going through an ego death. I'm going through this death process so that I can be reborn. I'm not quite the man that I want to be or the woman that I need to be with you, but I'm working on it. Okay. I'm closing out cycles. I like seeing the Death card in the masculine's energy because it tells us that things are in fact ending. What does the feminine say back to all of that? That's a lot to swallow, feminine. That's a lot to take in. And of course, she's in the Nine of Pentacles energy. Ace of Cups, Eight of Swords. So feminines, you are like, I mean, you're shining, you're glowing, you're shining, your confidence is so crystal clear and it radiates out of you. I can see why the masculine is intimidated at this point on this leg of the journey with the feminine, because she has been empowering herself. The feminine has been continuing to learn, continuing to grow, continuing to heal, continuing to feel into those feelings that create the dark nights of the soul, that create separation illusions, that create, you know, this sort of 3D matrix illusion that leads to fear, that leads to cycles of despair. The feminine's really conquering her shadow self and conquering everything that's been holding her back from her own abundance. So I can see why the masculine's intimidated, guys. And the feminine wants to say to the masculine, I am in a place where I have to be honest, I don't need you right now. I have worked so hard to get to this place, and I see a lot of feminines wanting to convey to the masculines, I'm single. I'm free, I'm independent, I'm single, I'm not attached to anyone, you don't have anything to worry about. You know, this is me. You can come in, it's me. I'm you. You are me and I am you. So you don't have to fear coming towards me. You don't have to fear my response or my reaction. Just feel into your own soul and know that I still love you and I still so value our connection and that I'm not going to push you away. And even no matter how long it's been, the feminine will be receptive. She may be initially a little logical, a little cold, a little icy, but she'll warm up and step into this Nine of Pentacles energy. And the feminine also wants to say that a masculine, that I too have been in that place where I allowed myself to be taken over by my own mind and my own thoughts, and I created a lot of mental anguish for myself. So I empathize with what you're going through. I know that there's this sense, like this reality of the 3D looks very grave right now. It looks very dark. It looks very, it looks as though we're losing. It looks bleak. And I understand that. And I want you to know that I understand that. And I want you to know that what you can't see coming is we have this opportunity for a new beginning in love. And you can't see it with your eyes. You have to feel into it. So you have to get out of your mind, masculines, and into your heart, because that's where you'll find me. That's where you'll find the truth of this connection. That's where you're going to find the answers that your soul is craving. You will not find them in the matrix right now. The matrix is more confusing than ever. You have to step out of your mind, my love. You have to step out of the matrix. You have to look deep, deep within your heart and remember who I am to you. Remember why we came together, why we decided to reincarnate together in this lifetime. You're not going to find the answers that you seek out there. What does the masculine say back? The masculine wants the feminine to know. He says, I'm working so hard day and night, 24/7, even when it looks like, I'm committing to my job, or I'm committed to my family or the partner, or whatever it looks like in the 3D. When night falls, I am focused on how I can get back to you. King of Cups energy, a dreamer, a romantic, a poet. The King of Cups energy is a man who is invested emotionally in this connection. Okay? There's this influence, this Jupiter influence of luck, abundance, and expansion coming into this card. And he wants to offer you his cup, feminine. He wants, the masculine, once he gets out of this illusion and this distortion, he's saying, I want to cut through to the truth. And I want you to understand that what I'm offering to you is real. And I want you to trust the love that I feel in my heart for you. And I want you to trust that I'm working so hard to put things in order in the 3D, that even if you can't see it, or even if I haven't yet conveyed it to you or communicated it to you, or even if there's zero evidence of it in the 3D, I want you to understand that I work day and night to bring this connection together. What does the feminine say back to that? I feel like the masculine's really desperate to convey this message to the feminine. That's really sweet. So it's interesting when the masculine steps into his softer energy, this this more loving energy, this more open energy, the feminine allows herself to step into this Four of Wands energy, and she allows herself to envision this happily ever after. She allows herself to envision the marriage and the children, and really enjoying this heightened spiritual connection that you can have, and the ability to ground it into the physical. So it's like having the best of both worlds. So the feminine says back to the masculine, I have always wanted everything with you. I have never been able to imagine myself since I met you being with anyone else, or having anyone else even remotely be able to satisfy my cravings, my desires, my needs in the way that you do. Nobody has compared. It's always been you. I've always held on to this vision. Even when I'm in this Queen of Swords energy, you know my heart, and you know that deep inside, this is how I feel. So regardless of what it looks to you in the 3D, just like I experience those illusions, you think that I've moved on. You feel that I am going to be icy or cold, and I have this cold, icy exterior, and I'm not going to accept you, and I'm not going to listen. But what you don't understand is that I want this as much as you do, and I envision us having this day together as well. I envision it, and I don't know how it's going to happen. I just know that I feel it in my heart, and I want you to feel into my heart. I want you to remember my heart. Remember how it was when you looked into my eyes, and you could remember the lives that we had shared together, the love that was always present, that never died, that never went away, no matter how much time or space came in between us. And I want you to know that I remember that too. And what does the masculine say back? Ooh. The masculine wants the feminine to know that I have been deep at work on healing myself. I've been resolving and healing ancestral trauma. I've been uncovering the inner medicine man or woman within me. I've gone really deep in this work, and this Eight of Pentacles isn't just about work or money. This work that I've been doing is about healing myself and being able to come to you a more aware, a more connected person. I want to be connected to this universe. I want to be connected to this heart of mine. I want to be connected to this life that I'm living, and I haven't felt this connection. And I want you to understand that I never, ever intended to hurt you. I was unawakened. I was in distortion. I was in pain myself. And I'm working on healing those wounds and healing my pain so that I can step forward to you a more emotionally mature, mentally mature version of myself. I don't want to come to you in this page energy because I know you might reject me in that energy because you're evolved. And I'm working on getting to that place too. I'm working on seeing myself through your eyes. So what does the feminine say back to that? Oh. So as the masculine works on ancestral patterns, ancestral trauma, and healing from that, breaking those ancestral patterns, the feminine's doing the same thing. The feminine says, just as you're working on healing those ancestral lines, I'm doing the same thing. I've been working on healing from karmic patterns, from karmic family members. I've been working on cutting cords. I've been working on sorting through all of my karma. So this is a beautiful space for twins to be at, where both of you are working to bring this into balance on a very deep level. This is not superficial stuff. This is not, I miss you too. This is, I'm working on deep ancestral patterns, and the feminine coming back and saying, well, I'm also working on healing deep ancestral patterns. Okay, so you're both working on, I feel like you're both in the Akashic records, and you're both working on this really deep healing that is going to take you to, it's going to take your connection to a much clearer level, so that when you come back together, you are going to have clarity and truth between you. So where there may have been deception or manipulation or ego, there's now just going to be a clear line of communication. And this is about choosing to step away from people, places, situations, and patterns that no longer serve either of you. And as you, I mean, your trauma is embedded in your DNA. So as you heal the trauma that's embedded in your DNA, guess what? You rise, you evolve, and it doesn't get passed on to the next generation. I feel like the masculine energy inside all of us, okay, inside both twins, is leading the way. This is the masculine leading the way at this time. And the feminine is actually following. The feminine is fallen back into her beautiful, receptive nature. And the masculine's leading the way. The masculine saying, I'm healing this karma. And I'm putting a stop to it. I'm putting an end to it. And the feminine's the one acknowledging it, but the masculine's finishing the task. So the feminine and masculine energy inside of you right now is working really, really hard to eradicate these patterns once and for all. Let's tap into interesting. That literally fell out as I was shuffling. So we have the rattle again for the masculine energy coming up again, the call of the soul. Remember how earlier this week we had the rattle come up for the masculine, and then a very similar energy card came up for the feminine the next day, I think, or the day after. This is the energy of the masculine energy saying, I hear the call of the soul. I hear that we need to eradicate this pattern. I hear that we need to change how we're doing things, why we're doing things, how we're reacting and responding to things. And I'm here to literally shake it out of us. So the masculine energy hears the call of the soul, hears the call of the feminine deep within him. So this reading went from not superficial, but more surface level to very deep, very quickly. And that's what happens in these readings, guys. So the feminine is connected to the council of light. The feminine, and we've got the number 11. So the feminine is very connected to herself, to her innermost child, her innermost being, and her own soul, her highest version of herself that she can tune into. There's no separation from your highest self, by the way. You are your highest self. You are God. And this is the feminine saying, in order to assist. So the masculine's doing a lot of the action work right now, a lot of the physical labor, as we expect. And the feminine is very much doing the energy of really the call of the soul. So this is like the call in the physical world and the call of the soul. I'm going to set these over here because these are taking prominence. And then the feminine has gone on this internal vision quest, while the masculine goes on this more external quest, right? And that's why the masculines tend to have the karmic partners. They tend to be in these marriages. They tend to have the children. They tend to have these jobs that take them away from the connection, okay? The masculine has a lot of quests they go on in the physical world, the matrix, while the feminine goes on this vision quest inside, in her own heart and soul. So the feminine is very much saying, I am connected to this journey inside, while you go out into the world and you eradicate these things in the physical world, and you transform the workplace, and you transform your connections, okay, in the physical 3D world in order to open up space for our connection. I'm holding space in the higher realms. I'm going on this inner quest, and I'm assisting you in that way. So neither one, as you can see, guys, is above the other. You're assisting each other. What does the masculine say back? Hold on, that card. Okay, so sorry, that card flew under the table, like across the room. So we have the flow card. I've actually never had this card come up whenever I've used this deck. This is the Mystical Shaman Oracle. So we have, and I feel water, but more air energy here. When you think of water and you think of flow and you think of the flow of water. But look, she looks like she has a castle on her head. We also have the energy and influence of the full moon here, being able to create a magic under the energy of the full moon. The masculine energy says, I work magic with my hands. That's why the masculines are so really in tune with the 3D world, and they do the bulk of their work in the 3D world, while the feminines do it in the higher realms. The flow it's like the natural movement. So we see it in rivers, we see it in streams, we see it in oceans. And this is about the energy of effortless movement towards your destination. So the masculine is starting to perhaps stress out a little bit less, or moving towards that energy of stressing out less, but also still heeding the call of the soul, still hearing that very loudly. And the masculine's realizing their powers of manifestation, their powers to bring what they desire forth, because maybe they didn't believe in this sort of stuff before. They thought it was hocus pocus, but now they're thinking something and they're watching it come into fruition in their life. They may think something and then they're seeing it happen in their 3D world, and I feel like they're blown away, and they're working with these newfound powers. And the masculine's learning to just enjoy the process and enjoy the ride versus always trying to reach a destination, because that exhausted them, that brought them illness and dis-ease, and it made them angry. It made them resentful of the life that they were living, and yet they chose it. And that's where I think the masculine was going wrong in the past, is they had to acknowledge that they chose this life. They chose to work hard. They chose to work long hours. They chose to have mortgages that maybe exceeded their ability to earn. They chose to have these nice things in the 3D world in order, and it really comes from ego. Because even if you say, well, I didn't have it as a kid, so it was important to me. Why was it important to you? Who were you trying to prove something to? Usually it's trying to prove it to yourself, but then that bleeds out and extends out, and we feel like we have to prove something to our neighbors, to prove something to our community, prove something to the world. So the masculines were out there trying to prove to the world how successful they were, how smart they were, how innovative they were, how intelligent they were. And what that really did is it created a lot of distance between the masculine's true self and their true essence, and their mission, their goals, what they actually came here to accomplish in the world. So now they're understanding that this destiny, this fulfillment of this destiny, it's already theirs. They don't have to fight so hard for it. They don't have to work so hard for it. I feel like they're realizing that what they wanted all along was right in front of them. And they kept on feeling like they had to continue looking. The masculine was afraid of commitment at one point, because they were afraid that if they committed to the feminine, that what if something better came along? And I know that may sting. Your ego may go, oof, that hurts. But they were afraid, and it wasn't necessarily they were afraid that a better person would come along, because they know that nobody compares to you. It was that they were afraid that they would lose what they had built. that in order to claim the feminine, in order to claim an essence, in order to claim a woman or a man like the feminine, they were going to have to give up certain things in their 3D world, and they weren't ready to detach from those things. They weren't ready. They placed way too much value on the things and not enough value on people and connections and their heart. They were very much enmeshed in the 3D world. The feminine has the moon card. So the feminine says back as beautiful. So look at how the masculines, look at how this is the inner union that we've been reaching, that we are reaching, that I've been talking about and picking up on, guys. I mean, the masculine has the rattle, the feminine has the vision quest, you know, the council, the shaman, the DNA karma. It's all lining up so beautifully. So notice how this plays out inside of you. So the feminine responds with the moon card to the masculine's flow. The feminine says, well, you're over here in the flow. I'm over here and I'm being guided by the cycles of the moon. Full moon, all the cycles. New moon, I don't know all the cycles by heart, but waxing, waning, crescent moon, full moon, okay, quarter moon, half moon. And so I don't know if half moon's a thing. So the feminine says, I am influenced by the tides of the moon. The feminine has, I don't know, the feminine is in, the feminine's influenced because of her monthly cycles. And if you're a masculine, if you're a male feminine, you're still going to be influenced by the tides of the moon. You still may feel those symptoms of the belly swelling. You still may feel symptoms of backache, symptoms of cramps. That's very, very common. It's not weird at all on this journey. It's part of the birthing process, birthing the new earth into creation, helping your female feminines, male feminines birth this process. So I see here circles. I see here this element of sort of weaving a web. I see this element of the feminine really responding, being very responsive. Her body's responsive. Her emotions are responsive to the cycles of the moon. So both counterparts are getting into a state of flow. They're getting into a state of being more receptive to the divine, to what the divine is offering, to divine guidance, to divine direction, and to really listening to the call of their own soul. And I can't help but think that this is a crown on this woman's head. I feel like the masculine energy, they're being kinged, they're being crowned at this time. Okay. We're just going to end. I wanted to wrap up with a card for each, the masculine and feminine, from the Whispers of Love deck. So message from the masculine to the feminine, and then a message from the feminine energy to the masculine. Take this as it resonates. Take this as this is your internal energy. Take this as the external. Take it however it resonates. Leave what doesn't. Masculine to feminine. Be supportive. So support your inner masculine. That's going to assist you in supporting the outer masculine. Support your inner masculine feminines. Make a genuine effort to show you care. The masculine inside of us needs the feminine to show a little more support. Maybe soften around the edges a little bit, Queen of Swords. Okay. The masculine's asking for support. They don't often do that. So let's heed the call. We can do this, feminines. And then feminine to the masculine, treasure your loved ones. It's important to love others deeply. Open your heart, masculines. Open your heart. See what truly matters. And know that love is all around you. You never have to feel alone, masculine. So this is your own masculine energy as well. There's love everywhere all the time. Simply acknowledge this as truth and it will be so. Aho, and so it is. So the feminine says to the masculine, treasure me, treasure this love, treasure all your moments, treasure your time with your children this Christmas, because I do feel like for a lot of us, this is going to be the masculine's last Christmas in this situation away from the feminine. So treasure these memories, treasure where you can, because next year things are going to be very different. That's what I feel. And the feminine wants the masculine to know, I'm always with you and I'm always around you. And everything is love, if you can see it from the eyes and the viewpoint, the vantage point of love. Have a beautiful night, guys. It was wonderful to create these videos for you today. I really enjoyed it on my Christmas day, and I will see you tomorrow for more videos. Thank you so much for tuning in. Many, many divine blessings.